All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live. What is good? What is good? What is good, ladies and gentlemen? Of course, you know who I is, the good doc, Dr. Mike, back again, once again. We're probably one of the more informative live streams that I could ever come across simply because it is not one that I do on my own. All right, today I have a special guest. You guys know him in the chat. He goes by the name of John Chance. I'm not going to go through the formalities like I normally do. You already know, get the likes up, take care of all that. But today I wanted to take a differing approach to this live stream.
Or come across simply because
okay. Yeah, you gotta.
All right. Yeah, I have a special guest. You guys know him in the chat. He goes by the name of John Chance.
John, you got to turn down the replay.
You already know.
Oh, you got to put the microphone on.
But today I wanted to take a differing approach to this live stream. Or come across simply because
okay. Yeah, you got to.
All right. Yeah, I have a special guest. You guys know him in the chat.
Hold on. Oh, John, you got to turn me down on your end, brother, because I'm coming through the replay. There you go. Okay, bet. All right. No, you're good. Yeah, my man John's in the chat. And because this is his first time to the Philippines as well, he's going to be asking me a plethora of questions. Some questions may be beneficial to other first timers as well. So if you come through in the chat and you have questions yourself or you have answers also, please feel free to do so. So without further ado, sorry to delay. John, what's going on with you, bro? John, you there? Hello.
Mike, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, bro. Go ahead. I got you.
Other first timers as well. So if you come through in the chat, you have questions yourself, or you have answers also.
Can you guys hear me loud and clear in the chat? It seems like I'm coming through, but John, I can't catch you, man. Hello.
Mike, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, bro. Go ahead. I got you.
I hear my replay, but I'm not sure if I hear you. Hold on. Like I said, guys, live streams are never perfect. You got to give things a chance to work themselves out. So let's see what we can do. You can exit and you can come back. That's perfectly fine if that works best for you. We'll see what we can do.
I hear my replay, but I'm not sure if I hear you. Hold on.
Hello.
Like I said, guys, live streams are never perfect. You got to give things a chance.
Okay. So I hear me, but I can't hear you, bruh.
You can exit and you can come back. That's perfectly fine if that works best for you.
Doc, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay, man. Like I said, technical difficulties, they happen. Let's go ahead and get into it. So today we're going to be discussing a range of topics in reference to questions that my man John has. So y'all please feel free to sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Get the likes up, and if you guys want to support, please feel free to do so.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay, man.
I guess we were not good. Shit. Actually, hold on. Give it a second, guys. Hold on. Shout out to my people, Rain, man. I see you, man.
Get the likes up.
Appreciate you, Tommy. Always a pleasure. Reggie, I see you guys in the building.
Perfect.
Hold on. Hold on 1 second. Let me see something real quick.
We're not good.
Hold on, guys. John, don't worry about it. I just removed you from the stream, and I'm going to put you back on. Let me see if that helps.
Shout out to my people, Rain, man. I see you, man. Get the likes up. Appreciate you, Tommy.
Okay. Hold on. Let me mute the mic. I'm sorry, guys. Guys, we're just working through the technical difficulties, guys. It's going to be fine. Just give it a minute.
John, don't worry about it. I just removed you from the stream, and I'm going to put you back on.
Yeah.
Helps.
When I turn the volume down, I can't hear you.
Can you put your headphones into the like for myself? Because if I didn't,
we're just working through the technical difficulties, guys. It's gonna be fine. Just give it a minute.
Hold on.
John.
All right, so I muted John's mic. Give me a second. So John, the way that I have to do it is I gotta plug my headphones into into my actual computer. That way you might not be able to listen to the playback. I know that's what's going to happen. He's not going to be able to listen to the playback because if I actually put on the YouTube channel and watch the interview as it's happening, I'm not going to be able to hear myself. It's going to be me playing in the background. So, John, you may not be able to watch the live stream, but if you can keep up with the chat, I don't know if you have maybe use your cell phone or something and just put it on mute. That'll be fine. That's kind of how I have to do it. So that way you don't have to listen to the playback, or you don't have to turn me down. You could just plug your headphones in, and you could just listen to us that way, because that's the way I have to do it. But shout out to all my people in the chat. Let's see if we can work this out.
But if you can
All
keep
right,
up with the chat,
I'll put you back on, man.
Like maybe use your cell phone or something and just put it on mute. That'll be fine. That's kind of how I have to do it. So that way you don't have to listen to the playback, or you don't have to turn me down.
Okay. That's the only way that we could do it. But let me shout out my people in the building real quick. I see Jerry. Always good to see you guys in the building. Just give it a minute, guys. Like I said, nothing's ever perfect the first time around. We got to get this right. So Frederick Mason, I see you. Alaskan Whiskey. Thank you guys for coming through. Just hold on for a minute. The show is going to be awesome. Relax. Like I said, nothing's ever perfect, but give it time, and I promise it'll go well. All right. So I see you guys in the building. For those that were not able to catch what we're going to be doing today, this is my boy John. Many of you know him in the chat. Great guy. First time coming to the Philippines. He has questions that maybe other first timers may have. So this is going to be more of a beneficial live stream for first timers to the country, and also for experienced travelers to the country. If you guys have any information that you can also provide as well in reference to the questions asked, by all means, I'm pretty sure that would be more than warranted. So, we're going to see how we can work this out. Just give me a second. Okay, so John's on mute right now. I feel like I'm doing this show by myself. All right, ladies and gentlemen, just give it a second. I got to figure out, because I have the questions. I just want to make we'll see how it goes. You good, brother?
Oh yeah, are you there?
Perfect. That sounds awesome, bro. All right, seems like we're good now. I think your mic sounds good. I think mine's is pretty good. So feel free to introduce yourself, man. Tell us a little bit about yourself, so the audience can get an idea about who you are and what really inspired you to want to come to the Philippines.
Thank you, Dr. Mike. It's an honor to talk to you. I've been following your channel for a minute now, and I appreciate what you do.
Appreciate you, man.
So basically, my name is John Chance. I'm 52 years old, divorced, have 2 kids, and currently I live in Ohio. Basically, I've been traveling all my adult life, and I just always wanted to come to the Philippines. I lived in Asia for 2 years, in Korea. I lived in Italy for 5 years, and I lived in Hawaii for 3 years as well. So I lived abroad for 10 years.
Right on.
And I love Asia. I love different cultures. I love meeting new people and learning different history. And I really like the Philippines because it's an English speaking country.
Okay.
I like the Christian value. I'm single, and I have the means, and technology has provided the way. So, I'm planning on. I already have my ticket. I should be visiting in February.
Right on.
And so I just decided to, I need to go ahead and go instead of stop talking about it, just actually go. So that's what I'm doing.
All right, man. So I appreciate you reaching out. I appreciate you taking the time to join us here on the channel, man. So you can start with any question that you feel will be the most important to you in reference to a first time coming to the country. What do you think is one of the things that you really want to know straight off the bat?
Well, so my flight gets in at around 10 p.m. So I guess the first thing is, getting to my hotel. So I know we talked about different means of transportation. So I guess my first question would be should I just make plans for the hotel to pick me up, or shall I just get in one of the metered taxi? What's the best way to get to the hotel?
Well, you bring up a great question, because a lot of guys will have differing answers, but I think all of us will come to one conclusion. You never use the white taxis. You understand? Those are the ones, especially in Manila, they will actually be the ones that will probably try to rip you off. Now, My boy Mike Carter, shout out. He says use the hotel shuttle, and I think that's probably the best option for you. It might be the most expensive option depending on where the hotel is in reference to the airport. The reason why I say that is because you can get into a meter taxi, but you never know if that meter taxi is going to take you directly to to your place, or if they're going to take you the roundabout way. And that could definitely, be the determination on how much money you spend. Yeah, I'm pretty sure money's not a thing, but when you get the airport shuttle, it's usually a flat rate. You understand? They'll say, okay, it's going to cost you, 500, 1,500 flat. There's no whatever the meter says. There's no need to pay extra. So you're probably going to come off better getting the hotel shuttle to pick you up. That'll probably work best for you. First time, of course.
Right. Yeah, they did have that option for me when I booked my hotel, and I know I can set it up anytime I want to set it up.
Right. So as they say, if the hotel that you're going to has a pickup service, it's better to use that one on day one, especially if you have zero experience, in the country. Because like I said, the roundabouts that you might go through with meter taxis, you can run a bill higher than what you would pay the flat rate for the hotel to come pick you up.
Okay.
All right. You can move on, man. Anything else you want to add, please feel free.
So I have a unlocked cell phone, and I know I need to switch to Smart or Globe and get a prepaid SIM card.
Correct.
So which provider is better in Cebu or in Davao, or and then I think, do I have to sign up online and sign up for one of those promotional programs in order to maximize the SIM card?
Fortunately, the promos, you don't have to go online and do anything with that. Also, what is lucky is you can actually pick up a free SIM card. It should be free inside the airport when you touch down. As soon as you come out, you'll see these little kiosks or these little booths, for Smart and Globe, for you to be able to go over there and pick you up a SIM card. Now, in reference to what SIM cards work better in each area, that's pretty much a toss up. In Manila, of course, I think all networks work well. But I have noticed that if you're going to places like in Cagayan de Oro, just as an example, the Globe and the Touch Mobile numbers work better up there. My Smart signal sucked. But when I was in Davao, like I said, I had Smart and I had Sun, and I also had a Globe number. So all of those networks pretty much work well in Davao. In reference to Cebu, I haven't been in Cebu long enough to really know how the SIM cards work there, but I'm pretty sure that you're going to be able to utilize all of the services that are offered in the Philippines. But what I do tell you, and I say this loosely, whoever you're talking to online, the young lady that you're dealing with, it's probably better to get whatever network they have. Would make for easier communication. You can go online, like for example, smart.com.ph or globe.com.ph, and you can actually just research the the promos that they have. If you're heavy on the texting, heavy on the calling, or you like to have internet, mobile data, whatever works best for you, they'll tell you what promo codes will work best for you. And when you get it, you load your phone with maybe 500, 1,000 pesos, and then you can use the codes. And I recommend the codes because if you try to call without a promo code, it does waste your load relatively quickly. So when you do get the phone, you load it with whatever you have, whatever money you have, and then you can go online and look for promo codes. You can even do that now while you're even in the US, so that you can see what works best for you. They'll tell you, okay, 100 free minutes of free call, 1,000 free text, good for, however many days it's going to be good for. Right. But like I said, whatever network your girl has or whoever you're talking to, probably best to use those because they can help you set up a promo code. They're like, oh, well, I use this one and it's good for this long, so that you get an idea of what works best for you.
Right. Well, I don't have a girl, so I'm just coming as a free. And just see what happened,
All right. Well, like I said, you can check it all out online, man. I think my man Rayman says Globe and Smart are pretty much the standard in the country. They pretty much work everywhere. I have noticed, not to confuse you or anything, but I've noticed that certain networks, their promo codes are geared towards certain things. Like a Sun phone good for calling. Smart has a lot of promo codes for a lot of texting and stuff like that. So, it depends on when you get in the country. Honestly, I don't think calling will ever be an issue because, Filipinos, they don't really talk on the phone very much, especially the foreigners. They do a lot of texting. So that pretty much works to your benefit. So,
got it. And I know that I should only bring a little bit of cash initially, but then when I get there, use ATMs at the hotel, at the banks, at the malls. Don't flash cash around. I can use credit cards at restaurants that accept credit cards. I should always negotiate prices when shopping from vendors, right?
Yeah, and there well, you can't really go into like the stalls inside of the mall and probably try to do negotiating and haggling in reference to that, but you can definitely, like, if you're doing like going to a street vendor, I mean, you could pretty much negotiate or haggle pricing with the street vendors. That's definitely not an issue, but in reference to the mall, usually what they post is the price you got to pay. So I'm reading in the comment section. They say get a touch mobile. It gives you free texting and data. Actually, I do use TM, but in reference to getting a mobile number in the Philippines, I do believe that works best for you if you're trying to communicate with the young ladies. I mean, Facebook Messenger is free for most of them, so you could probably be able to contact them through online services. But yeah. Also, it says that you should let your bank know you are traveling and your credit card company so that they don't get blocked when you're in the country. That is something that you need to know. I appreciate that one. You got to make sure. I'm put that out there. So because if you don't let them know, if they see it being used in foreign countries, they'll lock it, even after the first try. Trust me, it almost happened to me. So.
Got it. What is Touch Mobile? Is that a cell phone or is that
a service provider? Okay. But that's in the U.S.
Oh, really?
I'm sorry, not Touch. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase. TM Touch Mobile is in the Philippines. It's a subsidiary of the Globe Network. But T-Mobile in the U.S. You're familiar with T-Mobile, like a Sprint and all that stuff? That's kind of the exact same thing. The same type of network in the U.S. That was a confusing question. My bad.
Okay. Got it. Best places to meet Filipinas. So far I'm hearing the malls, restaurants, businesses, and probably the best is through a friend, and don't bring anybody back to your hotel that you meet.
No, let's not entertain back at your place. Probably not your best bet. Yes, I always find it easier personally for me and first timers to the country. I always find it easier to talk to young ladies that are in the customer service industry. Like I said, a lady who's working behind the counter at a Starbucks, or a young lady who's a sales lady or something like that. Number one, you already know they have a job because that's where you met them at. And number two, it's pretty much their job to provide service. So in reference to having conversations in general, I find them to be the easiest to talk to. And again, like I said, you can't really take up too much of their time when they're working, of course. But, I have found it easier to, you can go up to a cell phone lady's desk and talk to her for a minute, ask her questions. Like I said, you're new to the country, man. It's awesome. So you kind of have the benefit of being able to play what I like to call the foreigner that doesn't know anything. So you can ask them, how does this work? Do you know the best places to go here? Maybe in the midst of that conversation, maybe you can invite her to join you somewhere. So, I mean, you pretty much can, finagle the situation a lot of different ways. So, like I said, the malls, like you said, those are pretty much the best places to go. And yes, 100%, you never want to bring them back to the hotel room. not to where you stay at, because they will show up unannounced. You can almost guarantee, if they know where you're at, you can almost guarantee they're going to try to get you or find out where you are.
Right. Huh. Interesting.
Just reading some comments. They say that it's good to have a backup cell phone that you could use with a local SIM card. So if you do have a backup cell phone, that works well. Fellow traveler, thank you for coming through. My man says the best place to meet Filipinas is anywhere because all you'll ever need is game. Jared believes that the best place to meet women is on Tinder. They said, no, I've heard about Tinder in the Philippines, but I'm not sure if you're interested in using online applications to talk to females or you would rather just meet them person to person. But again, it does depend on you and what you believe works best for you. If you believe that meeting them in person is something you enjoy, go for it. If you believe that, hey man, let me just see what kind of women I can get in, get to talk to, through this online application and see where things go. Because I mean, it's still a win-win either way you go. Sometimes it's unfortunate that when they show up, they look nothing like what they look like in their pictures. So gotta, look out for that one.
Right. Well, actually, I was thinking about Tinder, and I was going to ask, should I set up a Tinder account, and then I was going to ask that what type of women do you usually find on Tinder there?
Say that one more time.
I said, actually, I was going to ask, should I set up a Tinder account? Because I was thinking about it. I had one. I just didn't use it that much, so I canceled it. But I was thinking about setting it up before I come there. And then I was wondering, the type of women that you would find in the Philippines that's actually on Tinder.
Well, that's a $1 million question in reference to the types of women you can find. You're definitely likely, to be honest, to come across the women that are going to try to get you for some cash. I've learned that probably about 90 to 95% of the women that you meet online, call it a high percentage or not, you're definitely going to come across the ones that are probably in one way or another, whether it be direct or roundabout, that's going to come out and try to get something from you. And that's just what you have to deal with. Some girls are actually looking for love or companionship online. So you have a chance of finding one like that, but you got to weed through a lot of the bad ones through online before you actually get to a good one. But
Right.
if you are a man that is just there to enjoy yourself and have a good time, nobody's gonna judge you, man. that's the only way to look at it. Nobody's really gonna judge you. But like fellow traveler says, and he makes up a great point. He says Tinder is good, but you got to be aware of the lady boys, and that would be with any online application that you use. They
Oh,
could use fake profile pictures of females, and come to find out you over here talking to a dude. I mean, of course, you would probably try to do a FaceTime or something to try to see what they look like, but
right.
those that don't want to show who they truly are, definitely is cause for skepticism for
Right.
sure.
So when you say you meet a Filipino for the first time, I mean, what do they really expect from foreigners as far as like going out on a date, coffee, lunch, dinner? Are there any questions that you shouldn't ask on the first date?
And you are killing me with these questions, man. Dude, I hope you guys are paying attention. If you guys are loving the questions, guys, make sure you get the likes up on the video. Please make sure you do that because these are very fundamental questions for first timers. Perfect first date for myself, just me personally, coffee shop. It's cheap, quick, straight to the point. And if you're going to go somewhere to eat, a fast food restaurant plays right into the situation. It gives you a chance to sit down, have a conversation. If she is a little hungry, she could put some food on her stomach, and it's not going to break the bank. I mean, be careful of the women that suggest going to expensive places because you'll come across those that be like, well, I heard about this restaurant. It sounds like a nice place. And, it's not wrong to ask them what they want to eat, but most of the time they'll tell you it's up to you.
Right.
So, like I said, just choose like a McDonald's, even a Pizza Hut, if you want to stick to the Americanized food, if you're not, willing to get into the Carinderia food just yet, or
Right.
like the local foods, you can go to a Jollibee, get you a burger and a fry or something and just chill. It's a great place, put some food on their stomach. And I've learned over time that a full Filipina is a happy one. So, I mean, the conversation could go very well that way. In reference to what not to ask a Filipino on the first date, sky's the limit. There really is no limit, in my personal opinion, what you should ask. It just depends on the direction of the conversation. But what I will say is I would avoid anything. Some people may agree or disagree, but anything sexual, I kind of feel like you should just reserve it unless there is one way or another that she kind of brings it up first. I kind of feel like that definitely works.
Right.
Best way for me to say it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, I'm reading comments. Jared says, yeah, always video chat with them on Facebook Messenger, like WhatsApp, anything to see them first. My man Charles, he says Tinder is good. If your profile is straight, you get straight and money women. They say, they will try to trap you for a free meal. So, like I said, the cheaper the better. Anytime you meet a Filipina, honestly, on a first date, or if you meet them out in public, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna find yourself sitting at a restaurant. I just say make it as cheap as humanly possible.
Right.
Jollibee has always played well for me. I don't care how old they are, and age don't matter. A Jolly meal is a whole lot better than normally what they're used to eating. Most of the time, if they cook at home, like I said, they're used to the same things, maybe a fish dish or something to that effect, or something local. So in my personal opinion, it just provides an alternative option for them, and that kind of makes them happy, where they don't have to eat, the same things that are prepared at home, all the time. So I kind of feel like you'll always be in a win-win situation in that particular aspect.
Right.
Mm.
So I'll be coming to Cebu.
Okay.
It is my intent to obviously go and see different cities. So say you meet somebody and you've been out on a few dates and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Is it okay then to say maybe take that Filipino with you to go see another city for a few days, or is that too early to trust? Or
that's $1 million question, man. I'm gonna tell you to exercise your own you got to exercise caution in those particular situations. My man, Mr. Muhammad, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for that. I would say it's too early personally, but I would want you to exercise caution, only because you just matter a couple days in, maybe even a couple of weeks in. You don't really know her. You don't really know her intentions. And again, like I said, a Filipina is always looking for a travel buddy. As long as you're the one that's paying, you'll be fine. But when you bring them around and take them to different places, I mean, that's something I do with my girl, and I've been with mine for years. I couldn't see myself, if I just met him after a few weeks. And the reason that I say that is this: there's nothing wrong with doing it if you want to, but here's what I believe to be accurate. If you're an adventurous person, think of it like this: you bring a girl with you. That girl's never been there. How much of an adventure can you guys have together if she doesn't even know where she's going or where she could take you, where you could actually have the most fun? Okay. Now, I would say that it would be best, and your best option, I would say, go out there, see a young lady if you can find one there. Even let her be your tour guide. I mean, it could be plutonic. Somebody that can say, you know what, look, I just looking for somebody to show me around. If it goes into the direction of something different, let it happen as it happened. But I would say just let a girl show you around whatever area you're traveling to, because if you bring a girl with you that doesn't really know anything about the area, I guess I would be hard pressed to figure out how you guys can have fun unless you guys go exploring, together. I mean, unless you choose to do it together. But you could get lost still, and that becomes an issue. And I don't want you to go through that as a worst possible situation.
That makes very good sense. I haven't even thought about that. I mean, I should just go wherever I want to go at, and then if I meet somebody there, then have that person that show you around. Yeah, that's actually
exactly, because they know the landscape better than you. Now, again, got to be cautious. I mean, like I said, you got to exercise caution. You don't want to be set up or find somebody that's going to set you up. But for the most part, I think you'll be fine. I wouldn't say go there and just look for somebody, but if you've been talking to somebody before you go, definitely, it definitely helps you out when you're in the area, and they can just show you the places to go, or they can accompany you, be your company.
Right. And so this trip for me is only going to be about, I guess I'll actually be in country about 12 days. So okay. Say I actually did meet somebody and she has kids, or she wanted me to meet her parents, and say I really like her and wanted to continue to collaborate with her when I go back to the States. So maybe it would be a good idea to meet her parents or kids, wouldn't it?
Again, I understand I gotta agree with my man Rob 100. He says try your hardest not to fall in love on your first visit. I think you should take your time and enjoy the country, get your footing, and get an understanding of what you're interested in looking into. Now, again, if you come across a young lady that really really, captivates you. You happen to, find out that she is a young lady with kids. I mean, everybody's gonna have their opinion on that, but that's cool. If you come across a lady with kids and she wants you to meet the family, it's too early. I think that you should save that for another time. 12 days in, I feel like that's kind of like, isolating yourself and locking yourself down quickly,
Right.
especially in reference to, especially if she has kids. I mean, you don't want to feel as if you're responsible because I know it's easy to get attached to kids sometimes. I mean, if you have a good relationship with them and they're really cool, or shit like that, it could definitely lock you in. And I don't want you to feel as if you're obligated in any way, shape, or form to take care of her or the family since you met them. And they may be great people, they may be fantastic people, but I never want you to feel as if you're obligated to help somebody just because you met them and you really like them. You got to actually allow that relationship, if that's what it's going to be, to progress in order to make sure that that's something that you can see yourself with in the long run. And I think only 12 days in, it would be hard pressed for me to, be able to see that, okay, I know I'm going to be with this person for like the rest of my life,
Right. Yeah, got it. I think I think that's a good idea that Rob said. I guess I should mainly just focus on the culture and trying to get around as much as I can and just talk to people on the first trip, since it is my first time being there, and not worry so much about developing a relationship.
For sure. Like my people say, man, you go to the Philippines, have your fun on your first trip, learn how to get around, use the phone, and on your next trip, then you find a nice young lady. Mr. Mohammed, I am going to be in Legazpi. That's where I'm going. But yo, I hope y'all are getting the likes up on this video. 23 in. I can't tell you what the like to dislike counter is. Eventually they'll tell me. I'm more focused on the interview. But yeah, I think falling in love in 12 days, anything is possible because I've seen it happen. But I'll be honest with you, bro. I'd never really seen those types of situations end well.
Right.
That's what I'll tell you. I've never seen it end well. It's the best way for me to put it.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty open-minded, so I'm not going there with any expectations. I'm
All right.
going to go and again, enjoy myself and have a good time, and then whatever happens. And then this trip will determine if I want to, go back again for a second trip or what have you,
There you go. But I don't want the reason that you come back to the Philippines to specifically be around a woman. That's
Right.
what I will say. You don't want it to be focused around a specific woman, not after only being there for 12 days, but
Right.
you want it to, be about, like you say, learning the culture and coming back because you really did enjoy yourself over time.
Right. So I know Filipinos like chocolates, so I bring some chocolates with me. So in the event that I meet somebody, I'll have a gift or something to give. Or
You don't have to worry about that, man. anything that nah, man. I see my man over here. You are pre-prepared just in case, and I respect it. Okay, but here's the one thing about chocolate, and I've noticed this when I travel with chocolate: the shit gonna melt, man, one way or another. So it's gonna go bad. And what are you gonna do if you don't find a young lady to give it to you? What you gonna do? Just eat it yourself? I feel you, man. But you can buy cheap chocolate in the country. I'll be honest with you. Chocolate in the Philippines is super cheap. And if you really feel like you want to go the route of getting the chocolates, because yes, it is a very easy, quick in, you could just buy it in the country a whole lot cheaper than bringing it with you. So I wouldn't worry so much about that. The whole pasalubong thing, that's that comes with time, man. You should never break that one out at all in the beginning. So no gifts, man. Just save your money and then spend it in the Philippines, man. Just spend it in the Philippines.
And what about customs restrictions as far as bringing anything into the country, and then say if I'm out there and I'm out and I go to a local vendor and I buy some items, is there any restrictions on certain things I can't bring back to the States?
Fresh foods and fresh fruits, as far as I know, nothing fresh. When you bring it back to the United States, they'll tag you quick for it. So nothing fresh related. You can bring back prepackaged candies and stuff like that, stuff that's sealed. always good. But in reference to what you can't bring back, I mean, as far as foods is concerned, anything fresh, like no plants or no, animals, and no seeds from fruits or anything like that. Nothing like that. So fresh fruits and vegetables, stuff like that. Just don't pack it at all. That's all. And I doubt you'll do that. But like I said, of course, weapons. If you bought a knife in the Philippines, I mean, you probably shouldn't worry about bringing that back. But sometimes you have people who bring back novelty, weapons that they may have bought in the Philippines that could also be taken from you. So stuff like that. I think you'll be good with just about everything else.
Right. Interesting. Okay.
Oh, and also it must be said that you should be careful about fake Viagra. And this is funny, and this is the truth. They be trying to sell you that shit on the street. Them sidewalk vendors, that's facts. They'll try to sell it to you on the street. Now I know you're a brother. You say you're 52, and you may not need it, and that's perfectly fine. But I'm saying there will be guys that'll be on the street saying, "Hey Joe, do you want some Viagra, or do you want this, or do you want to try that?"
Right.
They'll be like, "Yeah, man, it's good. It gets you hard and all that shit." They'll try to sell you on it. Just say, "Nah, man, I'm good." Don't try to buy anything from any of these guys off the street. Damn sure don't let them hook you up with any girls too, because they be trying to set your ass up with. I don't know if the girl be underage sometimes, or sometimes they be trying to hook you up with probably the worst of the worst. So
Right.
that's it.
Yeah,
for sure.
I experienced some of that in Korea. So
you got to bring your own, fam. It's best to just bring your own.
right.
Hey, there are a lot of people who use it, man, and I think the little blue pill has probably saved a lot of lives. Me, I'm a robust guy myself. I shout out to the squad, but other than that, like I said, whatever works for you. If you need it, perfectly fine. If you don't, cool. But like I said, nothing on the street, bro. Just avoid that at all costs.
Right. Isn't there a place of records that you can go if you want to verify a Filipina's marital status, if she's single or not?
Man, that is $1 million question. To verify Filipina's marital status, you could probably, and I'm not saying that I've ever done this before, but you could probably just go down to the courthouse, because I think that any marriage certifications or anything like that, you should probably be able to, check up on stuff like that. I'm not sure if it's a specialized documentation or a specialized area, but if you want to verify something, I definitely believe that there's a place that you can do it. Just say, I want to know if so and so, but you got to know her full name, because Filipinos be having a lot of names. So my man says that it's called Cinomar.
Cinomar?
CENOMAR, and it's online. Touche. I never heard of it. Guys, thank you for that, because I had no idea. And they say they also do it at the embassy if you're actually going to move towards marriage. It's something that's automatic. You definitely have to make sure your Filipina is not married. So
right.
It's Cinomar stands for a certificate of no marriage. That's what it stands for. So if you're really going that direction, I reckon you can go check up on that and follow up.
Right.
Or, like I said, just know her full name. You might be able to check it out yourself, or, they may require the young lady to come. So either way, I think you'll be able to find out that particular information when the time is right.
Got it. Would you recommend going on a double date?
Nah, no need. You're good. Filipinos like to bring as many people as humanly possible on a first date. So I say, if you do allow her to bring a friend, I know that's not a double date, but if you allow her to bring a friend, you'll probably third wheel your date. They'll probably spend more time talking to each other than, time spent talking to you.
That's what.
So, right. So what I will say is, if you can, I say just you and her alone. Say, you know what? I want to get to know you first, and maybe I'll get to know your friends later. Something to that effect. But I will say that, and you can take this loosely, if she does bring a friend, and you're okay with her, if you really want to know this girl, and you believe that the only way you're going to get her out on a date is with her friend, if you believe that, and there's no way around it, one date ain't going to kill you. Okay, just one time around. But if she's trying to make it a consistent thing, bringing her around, that's a problem. Number one. Number two, Jollibee is about as good as you go. Jollibee is about as good as you go. But I recommend no friends at all. because it fucks up the date. That's facts.
Right.
Yeah, they'll bring everybody.
Interesting. So how unlikely is it to get food poisoning from eating at a restaurant?
Oh dear God, are you saying me? What are you asking? What is the percentage that you won't, or the percentage that you will
Ooh,
get sick?
so
I would say, shit. If you're an adventurous type and you like to eat at the Carinderias and you like to eat at, and you think that you're gonna want to try to eat the local foods, I would probably eat at those places inside of the mall for your first time getting it in. Street food and stuff like that, I recommend them checking out the food scene, but as far as eating it, that's I'm gonna leave that one up to your own discretion because you could be hit and miss with some of that food out there. Like I said, I built up an immune system for it, and I eat the shit. I'm good because I lived there for a long time.
right.
As far as I can remember, honestly, I've only gotten sick twice after eating some food, so it's not something that is common for me. But again, like they say, you got to stick to the bottled water for sure. Don't drink any water from the store, no service water or anything like that. But also, you just have to use your discretion at that. If like I said, if it tastes funny, if it don't smell right after it's been cooked, you got to use your discretion and just avoid it at all costs.
Yeah, I mean, I want to eat as local as I can because I want to experience the culture as much as I can, But I just have to take those precautions.
Oh, most definitely. Um, my man Charles says any fruits and vegetables you eat has different bacteria than you're used to. You will probably get the runs, and that's all. That's normal. Okay, if you do happen to get the runs, aka you get the rhea, the diarrhea, it's not enough to kill you, but it may catch you. It may catch you slipping. So you might want to bring, like Rainman says, you might want to bring Imodium or some type of medication that could help with if you got like an upset stomach, Pepto Bismol or something. You might want to just bring a bottle of that, pack it in your check bag. Right, check bag, of course.
Even from a supermarket though, fruits from a supermarket.
Well, I mean, I don't really believe that you're gonna have any issues with the fruit, but like I said, it's still different. It's still new. It's still something that your body's not used to. Like I said, the bananas in the Philippines are not like the bananas in the United States. Same with the apples, same with everything. So you just never know the pesticides that they use to keep, to warn off fruit worms and stuff like that. You never know what they're using. I'm not saying that you're going to get sick from eating the fruits and vegetables, but at the market, places like that, little rough. I would say always buy your food at the store. Like you said, it's highly recommended. You definitely want to make sure that you buy them at the supermarket for sure. Like I said, this is just for first time to the country. I mean, again, once you acclimate, once you get comfortable, maybe you'll be able to adjust accordingly. But like I said, you want to stick to the common areas first before you start the extra exploring. That's the best way to say it.
Right. So February is going to be, I guess, the dry season. It's not going to rain too much, but it's still going to be hot.
Correct. It's pretty much cool. It's not. I mean, well, it's the cooler side of the hot season, I should say. Still going to be warm nonetheless. It's the Philippines, so you can expect it. Yeah, for sure. But go ahead.
So I should bring shorts and light, loose clothes, that type of stuff. But how do Filipinas dress? They wear skirts, dresses, shorts. I mean, how do they dress on a?
Oh yeah, what you said is pretty much the standard. If they're not in school uniform, which is my favorite way to see them dress, if they're not in school uniform, then they're pretty much in shorts, skirts, pants, sometimes short shorts, depending on the type of lady and the type of area you're in. And when I say short shorts, I mean thigh high, not nothing super scandalous. But most of the time they're like shorts and t-shirts, man. They're comfortable. Best way to put it. They're very, very comfortable. So I feel like in order for you to fit in, make sure you have your flip flops, just some regular plain t-shirts, wear your shorts, man, and just just walk around and be like them. It really pays dividends to dress like the locals do.
Right. So they do have Starbucks and they do have like an Apple store.
Starbucks, yes. In some places, they do have an Apple store that sells Apple products if you need it for sure. Mall of Asia, places like that. Even in Davao, they got malls that sell Apple products. But if you're looking for repairs and stuff like that, yeah, I wouldn't I wouldn't try to do anything like that at the stores in the Philippines.
Right.
They may not be trustworthy on that one, but for sure they have it.
Right.
Give me a second, guys. I want to take time for you guys I got to say my spiel. You know it. Guys, 19 people watching. I'm not sure what my like to dislike counter is right now, but if you haven't already liked the video, please feel free to do so. Caress, molest, and de-stress yourself all over that like button. It wants it, it needs it, most definitely has to have it. If you guys want to support the good doc, please feel free to do so. But of course, I'm happy that you come through and spend some time with us today. This is probably one of the better live streams that I'll ever have, because I'm getting asked questions that are detrimental to first timers to the Philippines. So if you don't like the video for any other reason, like it for that reason. Because these are questions that a lot of people will probably be like, man, I'm glad that he asked that. And I'm glad that the people in the chat answered it. And I'm glad that, Mike answered it. So again, understandably so, this is something that's beneficial to everybody. Questions that people may not have, even thought of before. So this is what we do. So I want you guys to at least get the likes up for that one. Get the likes up for the guest, and definitely the questions being asked. All right, my brother, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So Doc, how open-minded are Filipinos when it comes to learning about the foreigners' culture?
Very open. Wow, that's $1 million question, because Filipinos are very open to foreigners in general. Like, oh, what is it like in the US? You'll get those questions. Oh, what is it like in your place, or where are you from? Most of them will probably think since you're black, they might go straight there, man, and say, oh, my brother, are you from Africa? You might have to tell them, nah, I'm from whatever state that you're from. You might have, some people may come out and say it, but most of the time they're genuinely intrigued by, oh, what's it like in the US, or they're very happy that you've taken time to come visit them in their country. That's really, really good. That's really a good look for them. So definitely, they're happy.
I need to go around with a shirt that says "Born in the USA."
I don't think it's that dramatic, but I would say that, I want you to be able to, have some fun with it. So like I said, man, you can enjoy it either way, regardless of where they think you're from. You should be good, but it wouldn't hurt to walk around. I've seen people with USA shirts on. I mean, like I don't know, just anything with USA on it, maybe an American flag or something. Definitely gears them towards where you're really from. But then again, who knows, man? Maybe that stuff can make you a target. I doubt it, but still, you just never know.
Right.
And I say that fun. I just say that to be funny, man. But right. Being American, that could definitely be a gift and a curse.
I mean, I get that in the States, people sometimes ask me that if I'm from another country. So I guess, I don't know, maybe it's all that military traveling or something.
Oh, yeah, man. If they know that you're in the military or that you're retired, they're probably going to assume that you're definitely that you're well traveled, because they know that in the military they got stations sometimes in the Philippines, like back in the day, right. Subic, and then even nowadays, or within the last couple of years, they've had outposts in the more dangerous areas, helping the military police train for combat with the what do you call them, the leftists and stuff like that. So they're still here. They're still a post. It's just not well known for sure.
Right. I know in other countries that I have visited, and when foreigners get married to, a local woman there, most of them want to go back to the States, So, I mean, do Filipinos, obviously, I know they like to travel, but I mean, would most of them want to come back to the States and get a U.S. passport? And
I would say that's a toss-up. You would probably, a lot of people will probably say, yeah, they want to get with foreigners so that they can leave their own home country. But in hindsight, I've come across quite a few that really don't want to leave. I mean, they enjoy the Philippines. That's home for them, and they don't want to leave home. That's where family is, So it's the Filipino you'll ever meet is trying their hardest to get to your particular country. But the ones that are trying hard, the ones that really do want to go there, right. Oh yeah, you'll definitely know them when you see them. So, like I said, the talks about even remotely going back to your own home country, conversation that comes up anytime soon. So if I feel that if they do bring it up before you bring it up, that's probably something. That's probably a level of skepticism that you might want to be able to hold on to for sure. You know, you might want to reserve that thought on her for that one.
Well, I mean, but is that more influenced by the foreigner as far as not wanting to bring her back? That might influence her decision, or
say that one more time.
I mean, so I mean, how much is that is based on what the foreigner wants? Because just listening to a lot of channels and people talking, it seems like a lot of people would rather not bring their Filipina back to the States.
Correct.
Which for me, I don't understand, because I mean, if one day in the future I ever did get married, I would want to. I mean, I have family and friends in the States. I would want to come back to the States and maybe live 4 to 6 months out of the year, and then I could see myself living in the Philippines 4 to 6 months of the year. I would want to have combine my American culture with the Filipino culture and have a relationship or a situation or a marriage that involves both world and not just one world,
And I can respect that. Let's see. Well, the thing is, here's what I do know, and this is based off of the visa process. I know that if she comes over on a fiance visa and you guys get married in the U.S., and I'm just throwing that out there, she has to stay in the U.S. until she gets a green card. And I don't know how long that process may take. It may take anywhere between 6 and 8 months. Maybe somebody who knows will be able to tell you. But on the flip side, if you marry her in the Philippines, the paperwork to get her to the United States, as far as I know, it took about 3 years for some people. So the way that I see it is, even after you get married, there's going to be a period of time where you're going to be isolated and stuck in a particular place.
Right.
Now, once you've already gotten past that stage and she's free to travel, or she's got whatever documentation she needs to travel, I would like I said, I would recommend just bringing her over on a visitor's visa if that's what you feel works best. And like I said, if you got the money to do so, I wouldn't mind. Like I said, it would probably be not a bad idea to bring her over to visit.
Right.
I think where most guys have the thought process of not bringing them back to the United States is not bringing them back to live, because they feel like they're going to be heavily influenced by American culture. And worst case scenario, like every guy says, oh, she's just going to leave you. She's gonna leave you. She's gonna be like, she's Filipino. She's gonna get a green card. She's gonna leave you, and that's what everybody believes. That's what everybody believes, and I don't personally believe it. I don't believe that it's gonna happen. But again, there are guys who are speaking from experience that are able to tell you it happened to me. So yes, it can happen to you. And again, you still have a 50-50 chance. Yeah. I would say you got to know your woman before you make that decision. And I would hope that, like I said, when you get married, you'll definitely, be able to figure that out before you get to that step. But like I said, most of the issues with bringing women back to the United States is not necessarily what you're proposing. You're 4 to 6 months here, 4 to 6 months there. That's just, okay, I bring her over on a visitor's visa. We chill for a minute, bam, back to the Philippines, and we're back there chilling. So it could be expensive, best way for me to put it. But I mean, I don't really see that being extremely detrimental to the relationship. Like I said, you told me you wanted to travel with your girl, like if this is your wife. And, like I said, if she can, but that's going to probably require her to get a U.S. passport. So you might have to wait on her to be able to get citizenship, because traveling with a Philippine passport is almost useless. With all due respect, it doesn't really it's not beneficial at all, because they're limited to where they can travel for sure.
Huh. Yeah, I think it's a lot different when you're on active duty in the military and you married a woman from a foreign country. You don't have all these restrictions and stuff. That the wait period for citizenship is not as long. They automatically get their alien card, and and a social security number, and they can work like the next day you get married,
Right.
So,
right.
So I guess it's a little different.
Oh yeah, most definitely, man. Like I said, you think about the power of the passport, the U.S. passport. We touch down. Like if you go to Japan, and many people know this, if you go to Japan, when you touch down and you get a stamp on your passport, you're good for 3 months. Just for showing up. You
Right.
understand? You show up in the country, bam, stamp, you're good for 3 months. I wish I would have stayed the 3 months when I had a chance to go there, but I didn't. Like I said, I mean, you could probably say the same for Korea. You could probably say the same for other places that you've been. For us to get our paperwork to, be able to stay in the country for a period of time, it's not really difficult for us. But like I said, for Filipinos and stuff, it's very rough. Like I said, they need work visas first, or they need their visas taken care of before they're even allowed to leave. They got to have all that documentation and paperwork ready. So imagine if you want to hop on a plane tomorrow. Oh man, I want to go here. Your girl probably won't be able to go with you because you got to wait for her to be able to get cleared to go.
Right.
So that's something you always got to keep in the back of your mind until she actually becomes an American citizen, like I said, which may require you to stay in country for a while.
Right.
And then, for her to get the citizenship and for her to be able to get that passport.
Right. Got it. What about how do the parents or relatives feel about the situation when they see their daughter or cousin or what have you is dating a foreigner?
Okay, date a white guy, awesome. Sometimes they turn their face up when you're dating a black guy. Okay, it's just something that I've learned over time through personal experiences. I kind of look at it like this: when they see the Filipino, nope, let me take that back. Let me scale it back. They may look at the situation from the outside looking in and be like, "Oh, she's only with him for the money," or "Oh, he's only with her for this reason or that reason." Now, if it sometimes they're questionable about seeing a Filipino with an African American, I will say that they're kind of skeptical about it. Like, oh, why are you with this guy? They may ask, probably more so than they would with some, with the Caucasian males, I should say. But there may be some questions in the beginning. But I mean, it all comes with the territory. There's always going to be questions.
But
Then after, go ahead.
what's causing the negativity? Is it because they think the foreigner doesn't have money, that the foreigner is uneducated, or
Quite the opposite. They're thinking more or less the foreigner is just with this girl to see what he could get from her, probably sexually. That's probably where the negative comes in, or oh, he's gonna give her a baby and leave. They're probably speaking more so. If I'm saying that, it's just more or less an out loud thing, like, oh, what does this foreigner want with this Filipina? Oh, he's probably just gonna use her or whatever, like this guy did or like this guy did. So honestly, most of where the perception comes from is what they've seen happen in the past. That's the best way for me to put it. They foreigners have a reputation, a very loose reputation as being sex pads and things of that nature. So we're so we're pretty much in the minds of some Filipinas, we got a bad reputation,
right?
So sometimes it does take us to, show up and actually change the narrative for ourselves. I mean, you're not going to do it for anybody else but for you. Like I said, you could tell them straight up, I don't know about that guy. I can't speak for that guy. I can only speak for me. And that's not the type of person that I am. And, it'll be easy for you to be able to show that. But sometimes it does take time
Right.
for, for them to get over that negative aspect about us as foreigners.
Right. Interesting. So, tempo.
Always everybody's favorite topic, Lord knows.
So, when should that be a deal breaker? I know, right? I mean, everyone deserves a second chance, right? But what after 3 times?
Okay.
Something that you should expect for the rest of your life if you're with a Filipina.
Oh no, you got to be able to correct that relationship in the beginning. I think after the first time, you explain to her that's behavior that you're not going to accept, or at the very least, show her that that is behavior that you're not going to accept. And if she does it again, I kind of feel like she's defying what you told her. And I mean, most Filipinos Filipinas in general, they will listen to you. And if she doesn't listen to you after you've already explained to her that that's not something you're willing to accept, I kind of feel like that's when you have to make the move to leave. You have to just let it go. And like I said, I believe in second chances too sometimes. I believe in, you know, all of that. And if I fucked up, like I said, if it's something that you did, if you know for a fact that the reason she's acting out, like that is something that you did, like something that was literally your fault, and you're willing to accept that, yeah, I probably should have done that or probably shouldn't have said that, then you shouldn't leave if she tampos. Come on now, because again, you have to be able to accept some responsibility for what you did. Like I said, if I get tampoed on, sometimes 90% of the time, pretty much my fault, and I'm willing to say that. So if it's something you did, it's cool. Like I said, you just right. But if she's just doing that just to get some attention and it's continuous, it's kind of a manipulative tactic, if you ask me, to kind of control you with all that crying and being hush mouth and all of that stuff, and you shouldn't really accept that as part of your relationship, because you'll never have a happy one, always, especially if she knows that she could use that against you to get what she wants. That's the way I see it.
Right. Huh. Interesting.
But tempo is you're going to experience it one way or another. I mean, it happens to the best of us. I would be surprised if you never experienced tempo ever. It would be a stone cold miracle, but you're going to go through it at least once. So
I guess that's just another name for being pissed off, huh?
Or, most of the behavior that comes with tempo is childishness. Maybe they're quiet or pouty, something to that extent. People define it a little bit differently. Sometimes tempo comes out in the form of anger. She could be mad at you, she could lash out or say some things or whatever. But most of the time, it's just general quietness. Like she's pissed off, but she ain't giving you no attention. She's not talking to you, and she won't explain to you why she's mad. So that's pretty much how you can generally. I call those the general symptoms of tempo, more or less being quiet and pouty and hush mouth about things. Basically, like Malcolm said, she shuts down, and they just don't want to speak at you. They don't want to speak to you, and you done messed up at that particular point. Best way to put it.
Right. Interesting. So, a long-term relationship. I mean, you talk about age, and you look at the differences. I know, in a lot of cultures, being 10 or 15 years younger, or age difference in couples, mine. So, I'm guessing, in the Philippines, that's not an issue. Or what would you recommend? The maximum age difference.
Man, if you're there to have fun, man, you can date them at any age as long as they're above 18. If it's specifically for fun, do what you want to. That's pretty much
long-term relationship, though.
Okay, you talk about long-term. Okay.
Yeah, like say marriage-minded person.
Okay, I say hypothetically you're 52. I would say that you could still date somebody 30 to 35 marriage-wise, and it could still work, because once they reach the age of 30, pretty much they're at that particular age in their life. If they haven't already settled down, they're looking to. But then again, like I said, about 30 to 35, it's very rare to find a woman that doesn't have kids at that moment, or has not at least been married at least once at that moment. So it definitely it doesn't hurt. Like I said, 30 years and above from the time you reach 50 or something for a long-term relationship, that should be fine. I don't see no problem with that.
Right. Yeah, because that was my next question, because I'm 52. I have 2 adult kids. I don't mind meeting somebody that have kids, but obviously I don't want to have any more kids in terms of from that way. So I guess most Filipinos, I guess, by age 35, if they haven't had kids, they're pretty much given up on the idea. Or
I wouldn't say they've given up on the idea, but what I've noticed is at least by 35, if they don't have kids, that's probably where they start to get a little desperate. So they'll probably be trying harder to have it. But that more so comes with family pressure. If they don't want kids, then they're not really gonna, remotely care or even, think about it. But it depends on you. Like you said, man, you don't want kids anymore. So to date a Filipino with kids, you know, could be iffy because I don't know if you're in the area of okay, I'm okay with the idea of raising another man's kids. Like I said, that's something you have to take into consideration. If she doesn't have kids, awesome. But what if she wants kids and you don't want kids? That's also a topic of conversation that could come up. Depending on the age of the kids, it could be a problem. It may be some issues down the line. Maybe they cut up. There's a lot that goes into, long-term relationships and dating women with kids and those that don't have. Because those that don't have, if you find one that's okay with the idea of not having kids, like I said, and she's cool with it, go for it, man. I mean, you have nothing to lose, especially if you're not looking for it either.
Yeah.
But it definitely becomes you have to understand her mindset and where she is. That's the best way for me to put it, because all Filipinos are different, though. You can't really expect them all to be the same.
Yeah, and see, obviously, I've dated women in the United States that that obviously were single parents, and I kind of I'm under the mindset to think, well, I'm a parent, and I really don't want to be with somebody who's not a parent because they're not going to understand what it is as far as what it is to be a parent. Because as a parent, we love our kids, and sometimes when our kids do things wrong, and we know we should discipline them, or we know we shouldn't do something for them because they made a mistake, and we know as parents we probably shouldn't do it, but because they're our kids and we love them, we might still do it anyway. And I feel that if you're with a woman who's not a parent, she's not going to understand that. So she's not going to be able to relate to you when it comes to how you treat your kids and how you discipline your kids.
I mean, that's also a possibility, but I can honestly tell you that Filipinas, and this is the truth, many of them have what I like to refer to as a motherly qualities. And the reason that I say that is unless they're the youngest in the family, most of the time, if they're the oldest or even at the middle age, they've probably at least one time in their life or another taken care of their younger siblings. So being that particular motherly figure in their siblings' lives, it definitely plays a part. So it's almost rare for you to come across a Filipina that doesn't have what I like to call motherly aspects about them. So, like I said, unless they're the party girls and they live a different type of lifestyle, probably, like I said, depending on how they were raised, but likely if they come from the provincial area or places like that, they have those particular I know how to take care of you qualities, and I know how to, they're open to the idea of being a parent or fitting in or playing the role as a parent if they need to. Yeah, they may not be able to understand it off the top. Sometimes it takes a little work, and I'm not going to say that they're going to be perfect, but most of them do have, the qualities. The same way they'll take care of you, no different, they'll take care of the kids. So think of the way that they take care of you as taking care of a kid, and I think you're pretty much going to find a young lady that will, be able to adapt quicker, and being able to fill in that role if you ever needed her to. But
right,
it shouldn't be too much of an issue.
Yeah. Okay. So it seems, from just again talking to people and listening to, the different channels and stuff, it seemed like the Filipino culture is seem like it revolves around social class or status, if you will. And seem like a lot of it has to do with, I guess, how much money a person have or a family have or whatever you want to call it. So, and then people always say, well, before you come to the Philippines, you should make sure you get your money right. Okay, I get that, but they never tell you what that amount is. So, I mean, so what is the amount of money, whether it's a monthly income and annual income, that separates the classes that kind of put you in that next level? In other words, what's the dollar amount that, that say a foreigner has that you would say get respect from the family or from society?
Yes. You see, that's a tricky question, because in my opinion, that would indicate that you would have to divulge how much money you make in order for them to be able to know, oh, well, he's bringing in 5,000 US dollars a month, so he's rich, he's good. You don't never want them to know that. But from a personal standpoint, you're already good. Like I said, if you bring in 1,000, if you bring in 2,000, if you bring in $3,000 a month, you're still doing light years better than the majority of the people in the country. So again, if you're talking about economic social status,
right,
you're still doing way better than anybody with those particular numbers. I said, hell, if you bring in 1,500, you're still doing better. You know, like I said, how you budget it and spend it is up to you. I'm not going to say that's going to be enough for everybody to live off of. It depends on your lifestyle.
But what is the I guess, I mean, obviously people will see, and they will be able to see what you can do and what you can afford as far as where you live and maybe how you dress, you know, and those type of things, and the type of vacation and places you eat and things of that nature. Still, I mean, what is the amount of money, say, a person has to have to be considered to be on that next level in terms of, I mean, because what is considered, I guess, well off in the Philippines? I mean, is there a dollar amount? Would somebody say? I mean, you know,
I don't think there's a dollar amount, man. I can't say definitively if you have $1 million to your name, you're next level. I can't tell you that. I can't tell you if you're bringing in $5,000 a month that you're next level. I can't say that. It's automatic that you're next level at $5,000 because that's just the way that I see it. Because you're telling me that you're bringing in 250,000 pesos every month. I don't care what nobody says. That's next level, period. I mean, you have the upper echelon who does very well. That's a very limited crowd, the 1%ers. You're gonna have them, but again, you're not in the game to try to impress them. I mean, you shouldn't be there to try to impress anybody. So, you know, for me to say, okay, you need a specific dollar amount to be able to fit into this particular social class, it's not like in the United States where they're like, if you make 50,000 to 100,000, you're middle class. If you make this amount, right? No. I know what you were trying to say, right? But for some reason, for me, that's not how it works in the Philippines because you could be middle class and bring in 15 to 20,000 pesos a month. You know, that's like what, $400. So when I tell you, yeah, man, you could do 1,500, you could do 2K. Bam, you golden. That's legit. And I'm talking about in US dollars. Like that's 40, 80,000 or 50 to 100,000 every month. That you're doing light years better than anybody. So, like I said, the way that the social class is set up in the Philippines, I mean, it's pretty much kind of how you described. The places that the place that you live or the place that you're renting out at, where you can afford to go, what you can afford to do, it could define you. And again, if you're a person that likes to have fun and you can, and you can afford to do it, that definitely puts you in a class above quite a few people. So that's the best way to explain it. But I know what you were trying to say. There's no definitive income level that I'm aware of that'll say, oh well, you're the middle, you fit in with the middle class Filipino families, or you fit in with this class of Filipinos, or you're below poverty or whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, because I just see sometimes. I'm trying to imagine. So you go to the Philippines, you meet somebody, some girl take you over to her house, or you're with her friends or whatever, and I would imagine people are trying to see where you fit at in that social class, right?
I mean, I feel where you're coming from. I'm not. What you're saying is pretty much valid. I mean, but that, in my personal opinion, if you think of it like that, for some reason, it kind of feels like it's more of a westernized thing, because in the Philippines, like I said, the way things are set up, it's just completely different. All right, so I'm gonna go to the chat real quick. They said if you're looking for a long-term relationship, go for educated Filipinas. Perfect examples would be like Filipina doctors. They spend so much time and work so hard to get their degrees and subspecialize that they don't even think about settling down and having a family until their early 30s. So it's better for you to choose, educated Filipinos. Definitely true. My man, my boy Rob says, if you've traveled to all of these Asian countries, why is it that you chose the Philippines? He says there are plenty of submissive Asian women in the world. So I guess he was pretty much wondering what made you choose the Philippines as somewhat as a settling, ground for yourself.
Oh, well, for me, so I have friends who are Filipinos. I work with them on different levels. I travel a lot. So when I travel and go to a certain location, I'm around a lot of Filipinos. Um, I just like the Filipino culture, the people. I like it because I've been to a lot of countries. I've lived in a lot of countries and I've traveled to a lot of countries. I also like the Philippines because of the language as well too. And and in general, I'm open-minded. I mean, I don't have any one set culture. I mean, I love the world and I would love to marry a woman from any place that doesn't have Western values. But it just at this particular time, because I have friends who are Filipinos that I talk to every day, I'm just focused on the Philippines right now and I want to go there. So it's not so much about how much money I have or my status now. It's just an opportunity. It's a window. It's a beautiful culture. It's just an opportunity to go someplace and meet somebody there and see what happens. So it's not like I have a preference of one culture versus the next. I'm just open-minded and I'm just focused on that right now. I don't want to be a guy 10 years from now at a bar talking about, I had the opportunity to go to the Philippines, but I choose not to go.
For sure. I believe that a lot of guys who come to the Philippines for the first time, they become a little bit overwhelmed. And the one thing that I don't want you to do is I don't want you to overthink the situation,
Right.
because I kind of feel like that's where a lot of guys go wrong. They definitely tend to overthink it. So in reference to relationships, my man, you got 12 days.
Yeah.
enjoy your time. Settling down, not a good way to go. You go on dates with girls, make sure it's a solo date because again, you don't really have a lot of time to get to know her and her friend, so you kind of want to make sure that you keep the energy level between you and her. So I mean, you just got to make sure that you hone in on, when you touch down, you got to understand that you got to stay locked in and focused. A lot of things can run through your mind and a lot of things run through a lot of foreigners' mind in the beginning. It's a lot for you to take in and it's definitely a lot for you to soak up at one time. And your head's gonna be on a swivel, man. You're gonna be looking around and you're gonna be like, man, it's a beautiful woman there, beautiful woman there. And it could get overwhelming, but you're gonna have to, we gotta make sure that we stay focused on the goal. And like I said, what is your general goal to accomplish in the 12 days that you're gonna be there?
Got it. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, for me, it's just to learn as much about the culture, see as much as I can. And I'm going to be celebrating my birthday there.
So, well, that's the best. Well, yeah, never tell anybody it's your birthday because in the Philippine culture, the person's birthday it is.
It's not my birthday. I take it back.
Yeah, you don't want nobody to know it's your birthday. But again, man, I treat yourself, man. You got 12 days. I expect you to ball out of control. I don't want to put any restrictions on you. Like I said, in 12 days, I say do what you have to do, man. Balls to the wall and go for it. I mean, there's nothing to stop you. I mean, hell, anything you spend in 12 days, prayerfully, you can get it back. So
Right.
shout out to the Aquariuses, I guess. That's what you guys are, born in February.
No, Pisces, not no Aquarius.
Oh, Pisces. Oh, you okay? Well, Pisces it is, people.
So, what are the odds that a Filipina would have a car to come and pick you up?
Never, but they'll meet you in a taxi. Nope, they'll ride the Jeep to come see you, but you're paying for the taxi on the way back. But don't worry about meeting girls at the airport. I mean, like I said, don't worry, and they damn sure don't pick you up from the airport. Get that airport shuttle or that hotel shuttle to bring you to where you need to go. And when you meet girls, you meet them out in places nowhere near where you stay, or they don't know where you actually live at. So
Right.
enjoy. Like I said, man, I want you to enjoy your time. 12 days. I think every day you should be doing something different. You should go. I mean, I hate to say it, but for my first timers, I recommend them do all the things that make them happy. And I tell you, 99% of the time, and I'm not telling you to do this, and I pray you don't, but everybody goes to Angeles City the first time. I mean, it's almost as if it's a rite of passage to the country. Everybody goes there. They just have to see what the hype is or what the talk is all about.
Right.
You know, so have your fun. Go to the places where, if you want to go to a bar, you want to watch some girls dance, okay. Even if you don't drink, or even if you none of that stuff, you don't have to take any girls out, but just go experience the Philippines. That's the best way for me to say it, because a lot of guys find themselves locked up in a hotel room or locked down with a female. I've had people who have told me stories about girls that have come meet them at the hotel room, and they won't let them go anywhere unless they're with them. You understand? And I don't want that to be you, because that's likely to happen if you allow them to get into you, get in early with you. They'll lock onto you, like my man said, lock onto you like a pit bull, and they will not let you go. They will not let you go, bro. So don't fall for that trap.
Yeah,
just don't fall for it.
What about tipping? Do we tip in the Philippines?
There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, most people will tell you no, because the Philippines is not a tipping culture. But like I shouldn't say it's not, but most of the time I'll put it to you like this. If you eat somewhere and there's coins and stuff, you feel like, I don't need the coins, just leave them. I mean, somebody will get them and they'll do whatever with them. But I'm not saying, go there and, oh, the meal is only 100 pesos. But it's like, oh man, it's only $2, man. Let me give them 100 peso tip. So you basically double it. Because I've seen people do that. I think you should just tip within means, man. That's pretty much it. But it's not required for you to tip. I mean, I tip for services rendered. Like if I get a nice massage or I get like a manicure, I'll give them an extra 20 pesos. I mean, that's nothing. What is that? 50 cents, like an extra 20 or an extra 50, off of services. But, nothing that is either equal to the amount of the service paid for, maybe just a small percentage of it. So
if I spent $10 for a meal, I wouldn't give, like in the US, I would give $2 tip, because that's 20%. So it's not like that then.
I mean, it depends on how you look at it. I personally, when I tip, I look at how much it is. Like, for example, if it's 150, I'll give them. I mean, I probably wouldn't mind giving an extra 50 to make it 200 even, depending on how good the service was, etc., etc. So, I mean, it's pretty much not like it would be in the United States at a restaurant where you look at the bill and you pay 10-20% of whatever the meal is overall. I've never seen people tip like that, but maybe they do. But that would recommend like centavos and stuff like that. So
right.
They say most establishments include service charges too. So if you look at your receipt, most of them do.
Oh.
And yeah, places that I eat at, restaurants, some of them already have service charge included. So you can find that on the bill. If so, no need for a tip. They say you only tip if there is no service charge on your receipt. And it's normally like 10%. Depends on you, 10%, 20%. But most of the places kind of do put a service charge on there, but except in like services places, like places you get massages or like a haircut, that's kind of when you got to come up with it on your own.
Right. And so I should always pay credit card, not US dollars, right?
Oh, when you get there, man, you're gonna cash out pesos, man. You can't spend US dollars anywhere in the Philippines, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man. I mean, there's no place that'll accept $100 unless you don't want your change back, bro. So just go to a money changer. Damn. Well, let's talk about money changers just real quick. Don't change too much money in the airport. You're gonna need to, so you're gonna have to get some. I would say $50 or so, and then you can find a money changer outside that'll probably give you a better rate. Wherever you're staying at, I'm pretty sure you'll find a money changer that'll give you a better rate than the airport.
And that's not a machine. That's actually like a person.
A person. Yeah, you'll go to a person and they'll do it. But you did mention earlier about how much money to bring.
Right.
Depending on what type of card you have. If you have a debit card, you can use like I said, whether it's got that MasterCard or Visa stamp on it.
I'm gonna bring USAA and as well as like Chase or something like that.
Oh, Chase. Oh yeah, you're good. Because if you use a Chase one, like I said, they reimburse you for service charges. So make sure you use the Chase Bank card. Everybody swears by it. They believe it's a good one, and that's probably one of the best to use in the country for sure.
Cool.
So Danny, what's going on, guys? I appreciate y'all coming through. It's very easy. Get the likes up. That's all I require. If you guys want to support, please feel free to do so. Like I said, man, it's a lot to take in the beginning. Like I said, I believe that it definitely it's an experience. It's a learning experience, and it can be overwhelming. And I think that's what happens to a lot of guys when they choose or when they make mistakes. It's because the Philippines overwhelmed them too early.
Right.
You know, and
Yeah.
that's the last thing we want, man.
Yeah, like I said, luckily for me, I've been traveling my whole entire adult life from being in the military, and not only that too. I mean, almost all of my friends are married to somebody from another country, so I've been around foreigners my pretty much entire adult life,
For sure.
been, in all these different countries and stuff, and experienced all these different females from different countries and stuff. And I mean, I'm divorced, so my ex-wife, she's Italian. So I lived in Italy for 5 years, and we were married for 14 years, and I have 2 Italian kids.
Okay.
So I've been through the naturalization process with a woman from another country, her getting married, and then going to getting a green card, a temporary alien card, a permanent alien card, and then finally getting her U.S. citizenship. So I've been through this process,
Okay. My question for you is, if you've been through it, what would inspire you to want to do it again? Because, like I said, I know you're thinking about long-term relationships and possibly get married again, which is cool. But I mean, what would make you want to do it again? Since you've been through it, you kind of know what you're gonna expect to spend for it. Is it that your relationship ended amicably? Because a lot of people, when they go through a divorce, let's just be honest, they're kind of swearing off, having to go through the process again. So I guess for me, what is your mind state in reference to that, and why would you want to put yourself through it again?
I mean, my ex-wife and I are best friends. So my situation is totally different than, I guess, a lot of people who go through a divorce. I don't have that problem.
Okay.
So yeah, it's very amicable. We're best friends. I mean, if I actually went to the Philippines and actually met somebody, she would be the first person I would tell, So it's that type of relationship that my ex-wife and I have.
Okay, just don't ever tell a Filipina that you're friends with your ex-wife, okay?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say that out loud, man. Don't ever let her know that, because she is not gonna be cool with that. You can't spin that no way, shape, or form. So yeah, I'm just gonna throw that out there, because the jealousy will come.
But to answer your question, why would I go through it again? Because I want to live. I want to enjoy life. There's no guarantees in anything that you do. So for me, no love or a relationship is worth it. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but you still have to play the game, and you play the game to win. There's no guarantee if I go, let's say I don't go to another country. Let's say I date somebody in America. There's no guarantee that relationship in America is going to work no more than a relationship is going to work overseas. It's the chance that we take, but I'd rather take that chance and live my life and see what happens. I'm not worrying about it from a monetary point of view or that problem.
Okay. Respect, man. Like I said, a lot of guys, like I said, I listen to, luckily, I've never been married and never been divorced. So I have no idea what the process is all about. But I do know people who have been through it. Those that have been through the process, they kind of came out on the other end, feeling a certain kind of way. So
yeah.
I've only known it from the perspective of the negative aspect of it. But, it is always good to have a positive outlook. I just don't want the positive outlook to rush you into something new. I understand the ability to want to be in there and, do things. I just don't want you to rush into anything brand new so too early, nothing too soon. So,
right. Yeah.
Just make sure you take your time, man. And trust me, one thing my father always told me, man, Philippines ain't going nowhere. He said, the matter of fact, he says there'll always be beautiful Filipinas reaching the age of majority every single day. They'll be turning 18 consistently. So it's not as if you don't get to the Philippines at this time, oh shit, shit go hit the fan. It's not as if it's like that. So, like I said, when I tell people don't rush, it's because that's what I was told.
Right.
That's what I tell everybody else. Just like you said, you want to have fun. However you deem fun for you, man, do you, bro?
Yeah, no, that definitely makes sense to me,
Oh yeah. Oh man. Thank you guys for coming through. 23 watching, 24 watching. Guys, make sure you get the likes up if you just new into the chat tonight. We're having a conversation with my man John Chance. Having questions about first time coming to the Philippines, things that he should take into consideration. He's been asking questions all night, and you guys have been helping me to answer questions as well. So I thank you guys for being here and helping to participate in, answering particular questions that maybe I don't know personally. So, like I said, we're having fun, and I hope you guys can utilize this if it's your first time as well. I hope some of the questions that were asked were definitely questions that you could possibly learn from as well. So, John, if you got any more questions, man, go ahead and let them rip.
Yeah. So, what type of novelty shops or lingerie shops do they have in the Philippines? I mean, are Filipinos
Licenza.
Are they too conservative?
They got one store. It's called Licenza, Lasenza. It is strictly a lingerie shop, no different than what Victoria's Secrets is. That's it's literally a lingerie shop. It doesn't really sell anything else. It sells mostly female undergarments.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that store.
Yeah, they have one in the Philippines. They have one in Davao for sure. So I'm pretty sure they probably have one in other areas in the Philippines as well.
Right. Huh. That's good.
It's a great place, man. Buy all kinds of shit for your girl there, man. And they do have some, and I'm just gonna throw this out here because I've only seen it once or twice in my life. They got stores where they sell like those erotic toys and shit. They got places like that too. Right. I didn't think that I would ever see it, but they actually have some places like that. It's weird, but they have them too. So, in reference to it being a conservative place, yes, overall it is, but they do have, places like that where you can, explore a little bit. And you and your young lady could have some fun for sure.
Right. I think you had touched on this in one of the topics you had did a while back, and you talk about intimacy and how long should you wait. If you've been out 2-3 dates and nothing's happening, should you move on? What's the maximum amount of dates? I mean, is that?
Oh man, you know what? I want to ask the audience that one, but for me, to be honest, if you ask me, this is gonna sound weird, and everybody's gonna be like, "Doc, you're crazy." But I say, if it's something you're taking your time with, the maximum. I said 3 months. Like I waited 3 months. The first, for my long-term relationship, I was cool for up to 3 months. And people probably say, "Doc, you crazy and lost your mind." Some people say on the third or the second date, but that's again, if you're just trying to, push the relationship along quickly. If you're taking your time, it's a little different. But if you're trying to get to the intimacy level of the relationship, Filipinos will probably be open to it. If she's continuously coming to see you second, third time around, I kind of feel like she might be okay with the idea of taking the relationship to the next level. So it does depend on where she stands, but I believe that, if it's something long-term and you're taking your time, operative word, taking your time, if you do anything longer than 3 months, you're crazy. A lot of people will probably say third date is probably where you should start, at least making those particular moves.
Right. Huh. That's interesting. Do I don't know. Do Filipinos compete against other Filipinos for guys? You're sitting there with your girl. She goes to the restroom with some girl come and talk to you.
Nah, you probably wouldn't get that. But I'll put it to you like this. I've never had a girl approach me. And maybe some guys have had different situations. But when my girl goes to the bathroom, I've never had a girl come over and try to talk to me knowing that I'm with somebody. But please believe they're going to stare at you. And please believe they're going to want you. They're going to want you 10 times more because you're in a relationship with somebody. They're going to be like, "Oh, wow, this foreigner has the ability to want to settle down. Look at him with his girl. I want that too." Matter of fact, instead of wanting that for myself, I don't just want that for myself. I want this guy, So there's kind of a skewed thought process, if you ask me. They kind of look at you settling down and they like it, and that makes them want you because they know you have the ability to settle down because of who they saw you with.
Right.
And when it gets to that stage, I've never had a woman approach me like that. I think that they would get their ass kicked because my girl don't play. But I've never seen a woman do that. But some girls are that bold. I'm not saying that they won't do it. I'm just saying that I've never seen it happen. But
Right.
you are a hot commodity when they see that you have the ability to settle down as a foreigner. That's what I will say. You become the target. Nobody wants you when you're single. Trust me. I've tried. When you're single, nobody cares. It's only when you settle down and in a relationship, that's when every girl in the country's eyes turn towards you in your relationship. They're sizing your girl up, talking about how ugly she is 9 times out of 10 and how she don't deserve you. But back when you were single and nobody wanted you, yeah, they have nothing to say to you. So, you just have to understand that your stock rises when you're in a relationship. That's all.
Right. So I know people say, well, they go out to eat maybe 2-3 times a week. So I'm assuming the other time they're home cooking. So I'm assuming that most Filipinos know how to cook.
Yeah, they should. They should. If they don't, I don't think that's the woman for you, man. You might want to. You can't be in a relationship with a Filipino that doesn't know how to cook because I mean, what benefit? No disrespect, but what benefit does she bring to the relationship if she can't prepare a nice home cooked meal for you? You guys are just gonna go out and eat all the time. Most of the times you don't really care to go out. Sometimes you just want to stay at home. So it would be nice, in my opinion, to have a young lady that at least knows how to cook. I won't say they all know how to cook, but the majority do know how to prepare some dishes.
Right.
Or they can at least learn. That's the best way for me to put it. If they don't know it, they'll be quick to learn it. And that's most Filipino moms pretty much know the quickest way to a man's heart is through his stomach. I've heard girls say that too. It's a common phrase, but it's true. And if they don't know how to cook, they'll definitely pick up on it. If you tell them that you like having home cooked meals, they'll do whatever you like in that aspect.
Right. When So like me, I'm a big martial artist. So
Okay.
is MMA big there or?
I wouldn't say that it's big. Boxing in that particular aspect as far as combat sports, boxing is definitely the biggest combat sport here. Basketball is the biggest sport probably in the country. You have small areas where they do mix martial arts
Yeah.
for sure. They have some gyms, but more or less, just to do practicing. They got a lot of jujitsu gyms and stuff like that are coming up, but it's not a big sport at all. MMA is relatively small in comparison to a lot of other sports.
Are foreigners expected to play basketball?
Nah, they uh they're not really how can I say this? Nah, I wouldn't say that you're expected to, but you're expected to know how to play if they ask you to play. You can decline, but they expect you to be able to dunk like LeBron and shoot threes like Steph Curry. And I say that to be funny, but they expect it. You're black. You better be able to play basketball in the Philippines. Even if you don't play, you better be able to.
Is that the same thing like when accept the drink?
I mean, you don't necessarily like if somebody invites you to come play, you can always decline. The same as if the drinks and stuff, you don't have to accept it. You can just tell them, you're busy, I'm on my way out somewhere, but maybe next time, and just keep it moving. I mean, it's not as something that you're, pressured or required to do.
Right.
Nothing like that.
So so my time, is the middle of February, lead the beginning of March. So is that actually a good time to visit with the weather? And then also, do Filipinos like in Italy, all Italians, well, countrywide, the majority of Italians take vacation in August. Is there like a vacation time where people in the Philippines, generally take vacation and?
Well, for you, first and foremost, first part of the question, February to March, not a bad time of year. It's not as hot, so you're pretty much good The Philippines summertime is I want to say it's April and May, and they start back school in June ish. So that's probably the time where if anybody's gonna go on any vacation or anything like that, that's when they do the most of their traveling. But also they have, it's not called spring break in the Philippines, but they have a week off of school, and I'm so mad because I can't remember what that week off of school is. Holy Week. There you go. They have what something called Holy Week, which is probably the same as the spring break in the United States. They take that week off, and that's when a lot of them do a lot of traveling as well. You'll see them, the ones that can afford it, they'll go to Boracay or they'll go home, go back to their provinces and stuff like that. So that's when they travel. But if you're talking about taking vacations, like lavish vacations, you won't see too many people, doing stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So everything's 220, so I should definitely bring a converter with me. Huh?
What exactly are you trying to plug in? I think so. Nothing. You should be good with a cell phone or anything like that. But if you're trying to plug in like any type of electronics, like blenders and stuff that you bought from the U.S., oh yeah, you're gonna need an adapter for that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can find a converter probably in any mall. The 220 to the 110. Yeah, you should be good.
So I'm out and about, walking around the Philippines. So I'm assuming that I will see other foreigners. Do foreigners treat other foreigners? Do they try to bond? Is there a place where foreigners can go and they give information, they stick together, or your own? And then also, if you find a foreigner that has a Filipino girlfriend and you meet a Filipina, do those girls try to talk and and stick together, if you will, or
that's a loaded question. First things first, foreigners getting along with others, it's a high probability, but they have to know you. Like, that's not something that's automatic. I kind of feel like, if I see another black guy in the country, yeah, man, I'm gonna walk up to him and say, hey, man, because it's not common to see another black guy, and I'll talk to him. And I mean, you just have to be skeptical about, people's, thoughts and motivations. I mean, I guess that's no different than introducing yourself to, anybody. So I'm not gonna say that there aren't foreigners that do stick together, because there are some. But it's not common. You hear a lot about Philippine like jealousy amongst foreigners in the Philippines. I mean, the shit happens too much. It happens too frequent, if you ask me. But the best way for me to look at it is, you shouldn't. You don't necessarily have to go out and seek, not companionship, but friendships with foreigners. If it happens naturally. If you see somebody and you want to go talk to him, go talk to him, man, and see how it goes. See how the conversation goes. Like, yeah, where you from? I'm from here. Yo, let me get your number, man. Maybe we can keep in touch. New to the area, I could use some advice, or maybe if you can, we can see some places together. Cool. How they respond to the interaction you have in that moment. You'll pretty much get an idea of what it's like. You should be able to get an idea of what the personality of that person is like. But most of the time, not all foreigners and expats are nice. Like Malcolm said, some are real dirtbags and heathens is the best way he put it. But you're gonna come across probably more bad ones than good ones, and that's sad for me to say.
Yeah.
As far as hangout spots, in every area, for some reason, there are a couple of how can I say this? A couple of places where foreigners may hang out. From my experience, you can't go wrong at a Starbucks. I feel like you go whatever Starbucks you choose to go to, you're gonna come across some foreigners. No doubt in my mind. And that's just general, but there's probably some watering hole where a lot of foreigners get together every now and again, and you probably could find some there. But Starbucks is normally an automatic foreigner safe haven, or a place where they choose to go.
Yeah, because I think I saw in a video, like they were looking like they was talking about in Cebu, and if my memory serves me right, about living in Cebu, that a lot of expats live in a place called Hyde Park.
Your guess is as good as mine. I hadn't come across that one yet, and you're probably right. If you heard about it, you're probably on point. But I'm not sure exactly where a lot of foreigners choose to congregate in Cebu. I'm not sure of the actual areas there, but if you saw it, it's probably right. It's probably accurate.
Yeah, 2 years ago when I went to China, I went to Shanghai. Didn't see no black people, and then I went to a place called Chengdu, and I saw one other black guy, and it was like a huge thing. We went and we hugged each other and we took pictures.
I mean, in some other areas outside of the Philippines, yeah, he probably might have a different experience with foreigners, but foreigners in the Philippines kind of can be assholic for sure. But like I said, I could probably meet another foreigner in, like I said, maybe Japan or somewhere. It might be like a long lost cousin or a best friend. You'd be like, damn, yo, I'm like, shit, I haven't seen anybody, another foreigner for a minute. So, it's refreshing to have somebody I can speak English with. And, to bring that back to what you said earlier, you like to come to the Philippines because, naturally they can't speak English and it's not hard to, you don't have to deal with a broken language. Most of the time, that kind of, how can I say this? It kind of helps foreigners conversate with Filipino people. And because they don't have to worry about dealing with English issues for the most part, there's probably little to no need to even remotely care to be around other foreigners when you can converse and talk with the locals and chill with them if you have to.
Yeah.
So like I said, English speaking definitely plays its part. So they said that it was IT Park in Lahug, Lahug, part of Cebu.
UHG. Oh, okay.
That's the name of the place where I guess a lot of the foreigners are living at. And that's if that's located in IT Park, yeah, that's probably accurate. IT Park is a beautiful, beautiful place in Cebu for sure.
So most foreigners who I guess live permanently in the Philippines, are they living in the province or are they living in the city in condos or?
Foreigners, if they're married, likely they have a house or something like that. If they're just hanging out, probably just renting a condo or something to that effect. It depends on lifestyle choice. I prefer to live in a semi-provincial area. Makes so I'm comfortable there, but living in the city, you can definitely expect to spend more. But most foreigners choose to stay in the city because they're around the things that they need, the things that are of priority. Like I said, your fast food restaurants and places for them to eat.
Yeah.
So they kind of stick to the city area so they don't have to worry about being limited on food choices and, places to go.
I don't know, maybe because of my age, I'm just, I just imagine myself having a place in the city. So when I want to maybe spend 3-4 days out of the week and be in the city and have all of the things that you just mentioned, but then I don't mind renting a place in the province so I can get away and,
I mean, I love the province, man. I think it's an awesome place. Once you find comfort in the country, like I said, once you're comfortable and getting around and you know how to catch the buses to go where you need to go or whatever it may be, there's nothing wrong with or catching or learning how to use the local transportation. I mean, there's nothing wrong with finding a place on the outskirts of the city. I mean, you just got to be careful. I really don't see you running into any problems, but again, you got to be careful with the provinces that you choose to, go to. But like I said, you do your research on it, or you can ask people about, oh, what's this place like? And I'm pretty sure somebody will be able to tell you, if it's a nice place for you to move as a foreigner, what they have available for you there, things like that. And if you want to spend time in the city and in the province, I'm pretty sure you can make it work for you.
right. So, I would imagine on Saturday we go out, malls, whatever. But Sunday, is that more like a quiet day, like a church
Oh
day?
my God, man, that mall is a madhouse on Sundays. Don't try to do grocery
Oh,
shopping on a Sunday. No, every time Filipinos leave church, they go straight to the mall, man.
oh wow.
Yeah, it's a madhouse, man. That's the worst time to go. Don't go on a Sunday.
And that,
Everybody's there on a Sunday.
that's because they go there to eat then. So
Normally eat and do groceries. Like I don't know what it is about that country or what it is about the Philippines, but Sunday everybody goes grocery shopping. I mean, the lines be wrapped around the building. They go out to eat after they have service. If they can afford to eat in the malls, they do that and they do their grocery shopping. That's pretty much a standard in the country.
wow. And do I guess I mean, since Christianity is a big thing there, I would imagine foreigners do attend services as well on Sundays.
Yeah, I mean, I've attended a couple services myself, so I mean, you might come across a couple. I mean, it's not mandatory, but depending on what you believe in, I mean, it's nothing. I mean, you'll come across a church or two that you'll see a couple of foreigner heads if you happen to walk in and check it out. Sometimes you won't see any. Depends on the area, though.
Yeah, and I've went online and I've like texted or emailed a couple Filipinas, and it seemed like the biggest thing was everybody wanted to know what was my job.
Never answer that question. Please tell me you didn't answer it.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, never answer that question. The reason they ask that is they want to know your income. I could tell you an honest story. Filipina asked somebody I knew how much or what their job was. I think he said he was a teacher. She went online, she knew the state, and she typed in teacher salary, for example, state of North Carolina, and it said, "Oh," she's like, "Oh, so you make $35,000 to $40,000 a year." That's literally what she told him. So that was the reason. From that point on, that was the reason why I tell guys never divulge what your job is, ever.
Yeah.
If you're in the military, I think military is a broad stroke. I mean, so it's not really that bad. But even then, I would just tell them, like I said, if you're retired military, they see retired, they see old pension. They might think that far ahead. Because you have some that are very, very, good at understanding those facts. So, yeah, you just got to be careful. That's why I never tell people what my job is. I tell them I do work online, and I do YouTube. That's not the only thing that I do, but I try to keep it as broad as humanly possible because I don't want people to know what I do for a living.
Right. Well, I think I got one last question, and this is in reference to employment. Is there, if you met a Filipina that's educated or she works or whatever the case may be, is there one that you would date with a certain job, that has a certain job that you wouldn't date, that you wouldn't recommend dating? For example, I was talking to this one girl online and she told me that she was a masseuse.
I wouldn't. I mean, I understand the thought process behind dating a woman that's a masseuse, aka possible happy endings, etc., etc. I understand it, but I mean, I think any Filipino with a job it works for me. Like I said, as long as she's working, I have no problem with it. I mean, as long as she's not a working girl, saying that term loosely, I think she's good. But I can't honestly say that I've come across a girl that had a job that I wouldn't consider dating. I mean, damn, it's hard for me to say. Like I said, masseuse, questionable. I mean, if your girl works at a cafeteria, I mean, what can you say? If she's cute and you like her or whatever, she's got a job. It may not be the best job, but it's still a job nonetheless. She still works. I prefer educated girls that have, degrees and works in, like as med techs and stuff like that, respiratory therapists. I go for the college girls because that's what I grew up around. But like I said, everybody's preference is different. Yeah. So I mean, it depends on you. If her job is something that you're kind of skeptical about, you kind of have to take that with a grain of salt. So, it just depends on how you feel personally about what her job is. As long as you know what it is and it's 100% the job that she said that she was doing, because sometimes a girl will tell you she does something and she does nothing. So, just make sure you know that.
I guess that goes along with that trust. If you,
yep, that for sure, man. It's all in, no doubt.
So I mean, but going in line with that, with working and stuff. So, what if you have a situation where you have a foreigner or an expat that's retired? The guy's retired. He doesn't want to work anymore. He just wants to travel and enjoy the Philippines, enjoy life. Okay, but then, you meet a Filipina, listening to different people on different channels, how they always say, well, you need to find one that's working, blah, blah, blah. But, I mean, I don't see how the foreigner can be retired and he wants to travel and do things, but he can't because he's with somebody that works. So I don't see how that's gonna work, you know?
I mean, I understand what you mean. That's completely up to you. But here's what you're gonna say to yourself. I'm retired. I'm good. I can afford to take care of both of us. So you don't have to work. But then again, now if she has a job, you're kind of telling her to quit her job. So that kind of means that you're taking the responsibility of taking care of her, plus all of the responsibilities that she had as a result of the money she made from that job. So if she sent some of that money home to the family, that might fall on you as well. You understand? So there's a lot that goes with convincing or telling a girl to quit her job. But if you're with a young lady that never had a job a day in her life and you're telling her that she doesn't have to work, it becomes skeptical to me, only because what I've learned with Filipinas is you got to keep them busy. Like I've learned over time, you got to keep them busy, keep them doing something. I think they have a tendency to get bored quickly. And the last thing that you want to do is, have your Filipina, all up in your ass. Like, what you doing? Like, if you want to go do something for yourself or you want to hang out and, chill and have a moment, have a drink with some friends, you don't want her bothering you, asking you where you at, when you coming home and all that stuff. And you kind of get that with girls that don't have anything else to do but worry about what you're doing. So I do realize that could possibly become a potential issue if you're not with her like 24/7,
Right.
So you have to, there's a lot that goes into that one particularly, but I say even if she's not like working, give her something to do. If she wants to have a sorry, no, I shouldn't say build a sorry store. That's stupid. But something small that can keep her busy. That definitely, it definitely plays a part. Keeping her busy. Like I said, you don't have to be busy, but when you're wanting to do something by yourself and she's wanting to be with you, that could be a problem.
Right. Yeah, that's interesting.
So I mean, that's the I think there's good and bad in both. The way that I see it. I mean, like I said, I understand where you're coming from completely. You just want a girl that you can travel with or somebody that you can enjoy time with. And if she's working all the time, when are you guys gonna have time to be together?
Exactly.
I got it.
Exactly.
Right. I understand that. But then again, on the flip side, it has, it could have some downsides to it. But hey, you figure out what works best for you, man, and go for it. It's truly dependent upon you. But I would not take over the responsibility of what she did if she had a job and you made her quit. Because like I said, that becomes your responsibility now. Because you decided to tell her to quit. So now you have to cover or at least take up for whatever little money that she stands to lose as a result of you making her quit her job.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
So that, like Malcolm says, there's no real reason to bring them with you to your respective country. I guess if she's not going to work, it could be detrimental if you bring them to your home country. But I mean, like I said, I understand what you were saying, 6 months in, 6 months out. It's a little bit different. But then again, like I said, everybody will tell you, don't bring them. So, you know.
I mean, it's like I said, I mean, I was married to a foreigner, and like all my friends are married to a foreigner, and yeah, I get it. Like I said, I lived in Italy for 5 years. So during that time I lived in Italy for 5 years straight, I came back to the States and brought my girlfriend and wife eventually with me. So I get that part, but I'm thinking like, hey, I have a large family in America, my parents are still alive, my siblings, my cousins. I mean, I can imagine myself, say, living, say, July through January, because that's football time, that's Thanksgiving time, that's Christmas time, that's quality time with the family. And plus, those aren't good time to visit the Philippines because of the weather and stuff, right? So isn't January to June is ideal, the best time to visit the Philippines? So I'm saying, if I'm going to, let's say, so if I get married to a Filipina and we're married as husband and wife, and I trust this woman enough to marry her, and all these different things like that. So it's not like we're moving back to the States and we're going to permanently live there for years at a time. No, we would go there for 3 or 4 months and then be 3 or 4 months in the Philippines and then maybe travel to other places, because that's what being retired is. Retired means that you don't have to work. It means that you work long enough so you can afford a certain lifestyle and you're going to spend your life with that person. And so, you know, you want to travel, you want to spend some time in the States, you want to spend some time in the Philippines, and not just, or you can even have your main house in the Philippines, but then go to the States for 3 or 4 months at a time, then come back to the Philippines like that. That's what I mean. Not just never go back to the States, or when I do go back to the States, it's just me. You never bring your girl back. For me, that makes no sense, you know?
Yeah, like I said, man, everybody's understanding of the situation will be different. Like I said, you know, you bring up great points. I mean, 6 months in, 6 months out, travel. Not a bad look, because like you said, it's not consistently staying, okay, we're consistent in the Philippines or we're consistent in other places. A lot of people believe that when you bring them to the U.S., you're doing it specifically for the purpose of keeping her there for a significant amount of time. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I get it, man. Like I said, everybody's way of visualizing the situation is going to be completely different. And like I said, man, it's cool.
And I think because I'm a lot older and I won't be working anymore, maybe that's why my perspective is different, you know?
And if you the one thing that I said, if you can afford to take care of her and you by yourself, and she don't need to have work, you know, that's discretionary. I mean, like I said, you got to keep her busy somehow,
Right.
whether it be doing something in the house or whatever it may be, but you got to keep her busy. But you know, you just can't allow her to get lazy. That's the best thing I could tell you. Just make sure that she stays true to who she is as a person. Make sure she, you know, stays humbled, and if you can, and make sure she continues to do what she was born to do. You know, make sure that she takes care of you, and vice versa. You make sure you take care of her in the process, and I think it'll be good.
Yeah.
Either way you slice it.
Yeah, that makes sense to me, man. I mean, I don't plan to travel 5,000 miles to meet a woman in another country and then comes back to the state with her. Now she's Americanized. I can get an American woman if that's, you know.
Yeah, for sure, man. You should have stayed in the States if that's
Right,
the case.
exactly. You know, so yeah, so I definitely get that, you know.
For sure, man. Hey, unless you got anything else to add, brother, I think we're good to go.
No, I mean, this has been very helpful. I can't thank you enough. You know, I'm very excited. I'm optimistic about visiting and seeing what the future holds. You know, like you guys recommend, I'm going there just to learn the culture and the food and to see if I even like the place. I'm not worrying about trying to meet somebody and, you know, and trying to get some serious relationship to 12 days in a day. If I like my visit in February, I see myself going back maybe twice a year, you know, and just getting to learn the culture and getting to learn the place, you know.
Right on, man. And that's the way it's supposed to be. The Philippines is a place that your average person goes for fun, and that's the way that I think it should remain. Like I said, anything that happens, it could happen gradually if you allow it to, man.
Right.
So,
So I mean, I watch a lot of these channels, and you know, I look forward to them because I've learned a lot so far. I've been probably listening, but probably been watching your channel for probably about the last year now.
Right on. And like I said, there's a lot of good YouTubers out there, though.
Yeah.
You know, because everybody has a different perspective or a different outlook. But the way that I see it is, if you watch 3 or 4 channels and they seem to have a general, you know, everybody seems to come up with the same general answer, I think it's a pretty safe bet that what they're saying is probably accurate or true for you in reference to being a foreigner. So that's the way I like to look at it.
Yeah, you know, and you know, I appreciate everybody who's on this channel right now and their input.
Most definitely, man. Showing love to the chat, man. We love you guys. So thank you for showing up, and thank you for the input. Like I said, this may be the Dr. Mike TV channel, but again, the comments, you know, people who participate in the chat, you guys make this, you know, you make it fun and you make it interesting, and you bring up points that I might otherwise have forgotten. So again, I can't do it alone, even though I'm the one talking for the most part, I can't do it alone. So, like I said, thank you guys for being here, and thank you guys for the additional information that I may have forgotten. I believe that it's beneficial to first-time travelers to the country, no doubt in my mind. Um, this will probably be a live stream that some people can go back and check and find different questions that they may have missed and look at the chat, find out what they believe in reference to what was said, and come up with their own general answers, and make the Philippines definitely their own.
Yeah, Doc, if I do plan to come to Davao and see you, so you need to make sure you're still there in February.
Look, man, you know how to reach me. Like I said, I'm all over the place and nowhere at all. But like I said, man, I appreciate all y'all coming through, man. And definitely, if I'm in Davao, man, we'll definitely gotta check out some places, man. I got some places I can show you. Yep, I got some shit.
Listening, that's going to be there in February, March time frame. Definitely let me know.
Guys, we definitely need to do the Dr. Mike TV tour, man. We gotta just have a group of us get together one time a year. I wanna do that so bad. It would be fun, just a bunch of us subscribers and myself. Yeah, I think it'd be a great experience, and I definitely want to make that happen.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it has been fun. It has been real. John, any final thoughts? Anything you want to say before we leave?
No, just thank everybody for being on the channel, and thank you for your input. And I look forward to more shows, and hopefully meeting everybody when I get there. If not on this trip, then eventually on one of the trips.
Most def. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it has been fun. Thank you guys for participating in the chat tonight. Could have been anywhere in the world today, but you're here with the good doc and, of course, my man John Chance. So, with that being said, thank you for being here. Doc is officially out. At least nako paalam, which means I'm going now. Bye bye. As always, love you guys. Mahal kita. Mabuhay. Peace.